In the last Rally Miata video, we got a really big box. What's inside? Wow! Wow!
Wow!
Wow! Look, it's just a whole crap load of metal. I bet you guys didn't expect that, now did ya? But to be more specific, this is 1 3/4 inch 095 wall DOM mild steel tubing. This is roll cage metal. Because in this video, we are going to start building a roll cage for the Rally Miata. Why are we doing the roll cage first, you might be asking? Well, the tube front end, the tube chassis that we're gonna be building, we're gonna have to build some of it off the roll cage. So the first order of business is to build a roll cage inside the Rally Miata so we can build our front chassis so we can mount the engine. Now, unfortunately, that metal is about a week late. So for the past week, I haven't really been able to do anything on the Rally Miata. I didn't have metal, I didn't have anything else I could do. You know, I need to make that roll cage. I didn't have roll cage tubing. I was able to source a little bit of metal, and with that, I tried making a main hoop and the A-pillar bars, and well, I screwed up. I definitely screwed up. So I took my time to do some other stuff. I, grinded down the metal that we have to weld to. I cleaned up the flooring. I welded the plates in the flooring. I pretty much just got the chassis ready for a roll cage. And then after I did all that, I went ahead and took the metal that I had ruined when I tried to make the main hoop in the first time, and I practiced and practiced and practiced with this here tube bender. I did research on what I was supposed to do. I made a legit template, and I just practiced. And eventually I figured out this tube bender. I went ahead and made 2 pretty much perfect A-pillar bars. So now I'm pretty confident with this tube bender. I think I know what I'm doing, and it's time to start with the rest of the cage. So first step is to go ahead and make a main hoop. But before we can continue, Gingium from the future would like to thank this build's sponsor, CarMarshal.com. CarMarshal.com can help you guys save a bunch of money on new or used vehicles. If you're interested, check them out in the description below. The first bar is ready to weld in. Everything's all clean, grinded down, fits nicely. Let's weld her. Not welding the entire thing, just doing like a little bead, so it will stay still for sure. If I need to cut it out, then it won't be too difficult. All right, so now that the main hoop is in, I can notch the end of this tube and get it to fit. Now might be a good time to mention that I went ahead and cut out the door. There's nothing here. Normally there's the door card and then the inner skin and then all the rails for the window and then the big brace. Cut all that out. 2 reasons. Number 1, make room for the door bars, and number 2, remove weight. We removed about 30 pounds per door, which is a decent amount. Let's notch this tube here. This is the JD Squared Notch Master tube notcher. So you put the pipe in here, clamp it down, and then you drill it with this thing right here. Now, cool thing is that you can move this left or right. It doesn't have to go straight through the pipe and go at an angle, and you can also move it up and down so it can be offset. So you can achieve any sort of angle of notch that you want with this bad boy. I'm not gonna fast forward this or skip this at all. I just want you guys to watch how quickly this thing can go through a pipe and how awesome it is. Perfect notch made in a matter of seconds. So easy, so awesome. So I've got the A-pillar bar notched in here. It's clamped in the right position. One of the most important things about A-pillar bars is to make sure that they clear a helmet decently. So I have this RX-7 seat in here that I was using. I'm gonna see how it fits. I'm gonna be getting different seats that sit lower and in towards the trans tunnel more to give me more headroom. So as long as this kind of fits, we're good. I mean, yes, I do bang it, but like, if I'm just chilling here, I don't touch it. I think this is good. Now that we have the main hoop in there and the A-pillar bars, we can do the dash bar, we can do the upper roof bar, and then we can do the back bars. I think for now, we're not gonna do any door bars, mostly because we're gonna be in and out of this interior a lot, and adding door bars isn't necessary until we drive it. So we'll pretty much be doing everything on the cage besides the door bars. Before I go ahead and weld in this roof bar, I have to make sure that I have the hardtop mounting brackets all in, because once that roof bar is in, there is no reaching the bolts for those brackets. All those bolts will be covered by the roof bar and they won't be accessible. So this is a perfect chance to use my really nice JAS Performance hardtop brackets from Miata. So these are the old Garage Star ones. This is the one for the front, this is the one for the rear, and then these are the new ones. This is the one for the rear from JAS, and this is the one from front. As you can see, quite a bit of an upgrade. I mean, like, wow, that's great. This is obviously much better. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these front ones on. I did have to modify it ever so slightly to fit the cage, but that is my fault. If you get these for your Miata, they'll fit perfectly. So the plates for the rear bars are welded into the car, nice right on top of the frame rail, right next to where the suspension meets the chassis. Now you might be asking yourself, Gingium, why do you have to weld a plate into the car instead of just welding the tubing straight into the car? Well, obviously, the chassis of a unibody car is made up of very thin sheet metal, usually 16 or 18 gauge metal, something like this. Sure, you can weld the pipe straight to that metal. The problem is that if you happen to get in an accident, instead of the cage doing its job, it'll just rip right out of that thin sheet metal. So, you make a plate out of thicker metal that has a much larger surface area, weld that to the thin metal, you weld the tube to the plate after welding the plate to the car. And now there's a much greater surface area of weld on the thin sheet metal, so when you get in an accident, instead of just ripping right out, it will stay in and it will protect you like a roll cage should. Also, obviously, I took off the hardtop. I wanted to leave the hardtop in when I was making all these bars, so I made sure that it was really close to the hardtop, but it cleared it. I'm actually designing this cage off of a cage that Mike has made in the past on a Miata. So the next step is to make another set of these rear bars that go to the same bottom point and meet up into the middle. And then from there, we'll make bars that go from there to the front. Then we'll make the dash bar, and that'll be it, because no door bars yet. And with that, this cage is starting to look awesome. I am really, really proud of this. So pretty much here back, the cage is done. I even went ahead and welded the top since the top is off and we can reach everything. Before we're done, we have to do a dash bar. We're gonna do some roof bars and then the harness bar. And then that's it. I would just like to give Pasha a huge shout out for his donation to the Help a Gingium Build a Harness Bar Foundation. His donation is greatly appreciated in the form of this seat. We are gonna be getting seats similar to this for this car, this race car, but I just wanna know where roughly I need to build a harness bar. So harness bar, you want the harness is to come kind of straight out. There's some official rule, but I think it has to be within 15 degrees of parallel to the ground. So like it can only be 15 degrees up or down. And by it, I mean the harnesses. So if I just build the harness bar about level to where this ends up, it's gonna be awesome. Dash bar is in. Everything for now is in. And now for the most exciting part of the video. I've learned the hard way that if you don't clean up at the end of every day, the next day, the day after that, it just gets worse and worse, and eventually your efficiency decreases. I mean, literally, I was walking across this floor and every step I took, just crunch, 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 because of all the metal shavings, mostly from that notcher. It really gets chunks of metal everywhere. Anyway, yep, cool. With that, the Rally Miata's roll cage is now finished. It's not 100% finished. It still needs door bars, it still needs a couple of roof bars and some gussets, and it needs to be totally welded up. It's a good way there to being welded up, but it's pretty much done. It's done for everything that we need it for. It's done to the point where we can now start building the tube front end, the new chassis off of the roll cage and off of the Miata chassis. I just wanna say I am just so happy with the way this went. And I am so, so thankful for all of you guys and all the companies that have helped me. This would not have been possible without 3 tools. Number 1, the Htp Mig Welder. That thing was welding awesome. Literally, not only is this cage just sweet and the tube bending is sweet, Every single weld on this thing is dimes with a MIG welder. And I'm really happy that I can get these consistent welds with this great welder. If you wanna check them out, link in the description. The other thing is, of course, the tube bender. You can't bend tubes without a tube bender. But the unsung hero of this day was the tube notcher. That thing saves so much time. Sure, you can notch tubes with an angle grinder, but that thing is awesome. And of course, I could not have gotten those two tools, the tube bender and the notcher, without everyone on Patreon and all of your guys' support, so thank you. I'm honored. I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. I'm just really happy that I was able to do this, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm really grateful. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without you guys. It's so awesome. Anyway, what's happening in the next video? Well, in the next video, we're not gonna be working on the Rally Miata per se. We're gonna be working on this. And you guys can see that video now on Patreon.